Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Trick. Somebody sent me this graphic and wanted to do, it's a bitmap. And at first I looked at it and said, that's not going to trace. But they want to do this right here. And I've already done it. It really kind of a neat one. So I didn't think this thing was going to trace. And you can tell it's a bitmap by the gray bounding box. And for the one I'm doing it for, I reduced it in size quite a bit. I'm a little over 5 inches. I've got my nudge factor. Let me set my nudge factor on 6. And I've already got a copy so I don't have to make a copy. I always make a copy of it. Go to trace bitmap, outline trace clip art. And it traced it. It took a little time, but it really came out a lot better than I would have really given it a shot for. It's at 40%. It's almost there. And then after it does that, I don't know that I need to, but I'm going to take away the background from entire image. You can see it's got black in there. So we're going to go background, take away from entire image. And then I thought, man, that's not going to work. But then I moved it over and it's just a bunch of gray lines, but they've got breaks in them. If we take this and select it all and go left click, right click, you can see all the bad spots. And I'm just going to use the inside anyway. You could maybe try to figure that out. Now this thing is only less than 2 inches tall. So I'm going to make my nudge factor 2 inches. And I'm going to fill in, well, to get this right here, this will leak. So I'm going to just take well, you know what? I'm going to use a 3-point curve line to give it a little bit of a curve. And I'm going to go from right there to right there and then give it a little bit of a curve. Then I'm going to go on the opposite end, zoom in, and do the exact same. Do the exact same thing, take the 3-point curve line, and I'm going from the outside to the outside, and then just giving a little bit of a curve. Now, because I set my nudge factor on 2 inches, I'll be able to see well, you know what? I don't have to do that. Let's do this. Let's group all this together, Control G. That way we don't have to nudge out. We'll be able to move it out of the way in a second. So I'm going to take it. I'm just going to fill in the inside parts. They don't have any breaks. I might even make a video later on how you could maybe have 2 colors. If you broke somehow, if we can figure out how to get rid of those lines. But this takes just a second. And you could actually do just one. Let's just do that. Let's back up here to where this, well, we really need that right. We really need that right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do them all. I'm trying to save some time. I'm going to have to zoom in here. And by not having to move them, I can make sure which ones I get them. Make sure I get them all. It's kind of like an over-under design. I really like it. It really, like I said, I didn't give it much chance to trace, but it traced rather well. And because we grouped, in just a second, I'll be able to move the lines out of the way. I think we just got a little bit more, one more to do. Back to the Smart Fill tool. And if you kind of do it in some sort of order, of course, in this way, you're not going to miss anything because you're filling them all in. If we were nudging them, then I have to have some order to the process. Anyway, we got them all in. Because we've nudged, I can grab that line, and you can see down here I've got several outlines, and I can just move it out of the way, and there is our graphic. Now, I could have done it several ways and made it, just part of it. Matter of fact, I should have. Then I could have just duplicated over. We'll do that real quick. I think that's the way I did it at first. I didn't realize there's the break right. right there. This might not really work. Let's go from, I got to get my 3-point curve line, go from about right there to right there. Let's go ahead and put a little curve on it. And then we just have to fill in this one part instead of going all the way across the board. I think that's the way I did it when I was kind of making sure it was going to work. So I got them all, and now I can grab this. It's still a group together, and I can move it out of the way. Now, if we look, this thing is 1.28 inches big. I'm going to left click, right click, and I'm going to change my nudge factor to, let's make 1.28. I'm going to go 1.28. And then I'm going to grab it. Whoop. I'm going to group it together, Control G, Control D to duplicate and move it over, and just kind of check the way it looks. And it's a little funky. You know, we can fix that in just a minute. I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool or the virtual, and that might not even matter. Now I can grab all this, Control G, Control D, and just nudge it twice. And don't forget to get rid of those lines. I really, now that I'm doing this, I think the first way I did was better. I could go and fix those parts, but they might add to it a little bit. Now, I'm going to weld this together, and then I'm going to turn it all black and make sure it stays black, and it does. I'm going to hit it back to there. Now this, I did like a 20-inch circle. Let me move that out of the way. Evidently, I didn't group it. Let me get that out of the way. Let me move that out of the, don't really need that anymore. I'm going to select it all and just move it out of the way. So now I'm going to take a 20-inch circle or so. It doesn't have to be 20 inches. And I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. And then I'm going to look at my graphic. That's the one I did second. There's one I did. No, you know what? I deleted that one. Yep. We'll go ahead and use this one. It's fine. And we're going to grab this and I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. And then I'm going to rise it up holding down the control button. And what we want to do now is take a 2-point line. Take a 2-point line and make it pretty long and then hit P. Now, because we're working in the center of the page, we can rotate it. We have to have it something divisible by 360. So we're going to go to this end and, there's, we can make it 15 degrees. Now I'm going to Control D and duplicate that and mirror it. I'm going to take my graphic out of the way, and I'm just going to take this circle, Control D, holding down the Shift key so it'll grow inside. Now I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool. I'm going to change my nudge factor to like 5 inches. Take the Smart Fill tool, and I'm going to make that object. Then I'm going to left click, right click. I'm going to click on my graphic. I'm going to go to Effects and Envelope. And I'm going to go right here to Create from Envelope Form, and I'm going to place it in there. Now, that's selected. If we shift select this one, we go EC. For some reason on this design, it actually puts it outside the envelope, but it doesn't really matter. Now, because we nudge, we can nudge that back. Now let's take away our lines. Go ahead and take away our circles. And I'm going to Control D, alternate C, and rotate it 30 degrees. And let's see if it does good. Oh man, I think it's going to be perfect. We're going to have to weld that, but maybe that'll work. Control D, alternate C, 60 degrees. Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. It comes around pretty fast when it's doing those degrees. Now we've got a joint there, but let's see what happens when we weld it. Let's see if welding will work. Sometimes welding doesn't always work on something like this. We'll weld it and see if that joint doesn't go away. And it really doesn't matter. You can clean it and see the joint went away. I kind of like that roughness. And then because it's welded, all you have to do is take it and make it whatever color you want. And take away the outline and you've got a blue, pretty unique design. I like it. I mean that, I could have, well, evidently it's not joined, but it did fill in. And that could be remedied. Anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit. And thank you for watching.